Hi and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today I'll be doing a review of a Luminox Colormark watch, but first I would like to thank Silvertime Watch Store for supplying this watch, and if you want to check them out you can click on the link in the description. With this watch I would like to start off with the tritium lume, as it is the defining feature of these watches. Now, to people who have used tritium, there's nothing new I can say. It works as it should, and you can expect up to 10 years of non-fading usage, as tritium has a half-life of 12.3 years, meaning it will lose half its power in that time. Now, to those who never experienced tritium lume, you might get disappointed at first, especially if you're used to divers' watches, as tritium works a little different and is not nearly as bright as regular lume in the first couple of minutes. Meaning that if you walk into a dark room after being outside on a sunny day, you will have trouble telling time until your eyes get a little accustomed to darkness. And to show you exactly what I mean, I did my usual lume shot in exactly the same way I do it for every watch I review. And as you can see, it is a lot weaker than anything I reviewed so far. However, the initial brightness on regular lume fades away quickly, and within 5 to 10 minutes, tritium will be brighter, and will keep looking brighter and brighter to your eyes as you spend more time in the dark. So despite the lume shot I just showed you, it is very visible and bright in the dark. The reason for that is that regular lume stores light that it has been exposed to and then emits it. So when you walk into a dark room from the outside, the regular lume is at its peak and will be very bright, but will keep fading away as you spend more time away from a light source. While tritium is a self-sustained light source, meaning it doesn't require charging as it uses sealed vials that have tritium inside, which is a radioactive gas that emits electrons. The vials are painted with phosphorus on the inside, so when the electrons from tritium hit the phosphorus, light is emitted. Because of this, it has a constant brightness even if it's permanently in the dark. This brightness will slowly fade away over the years, like I mentioned in the beginning, until it dies out completely in about 20 to 30 years. So it does have an expiration date, after which you should replace the vials completely. It is a very interesting and cool way of doing watch lume, but for my personal daily activities, where I often have situations where I go from a very bright outside to almost pitch dark inside, regular lume is better and more practical. The other prominent feature of this watch is its marketing, and being called the official Navy Seals and SAS watch. That part to me personally is complete BS, and I don't buy into it for a second, just like I don't buy the BS of Navy Seals actually wearing GLC watches on missions. If you Google photos of Navy Seals that aren't a part of marketing campaigns of these brands, you will see that they mostly wear Suunto watches, Protreks, and G-Shocks. Even better, try to Google photos DW6600 and Army and see what comes out. So these watches do have a tactical look to them, but they're not actually used for tactical missions, as far as I know. But in today's world, every brand tries to connect with something people might find cool, so I'm not really mad at Luminox for doing this, especially since I know it would not be the reason that would make me buy one. Now moving on to the case, it is made of what Luminox calls PC carbon, or carbon reinforced polycarbonate, which makes it look and feel like plastic. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with plastic, especially one as advanced as this, as it makes the watch very light, and the thing I like the most about it is that even when you scratch it, the scratches will be unnoticeable, unlike a PVD-coated stainless steel watch that's going to show the bare metal underneath. Some people might find the lack of weight weird and might confuse it with lack of quality, but you shouldn't. What does disappoint me a little is that it really does look and feel like regular plastic, and I wish they made it look a little more special. For example, a friend of mine bought a Valentino Rossi watch from his fan store, and although it's just a regular Seiko-powered quartz chronograph, the case is made of carbon. And when you hold that in your hands, even though it shares the same lightness of the Luminox, it doesn't look or feel like plastic at all. It actually looks cool and makes you feel like it's something special. So I wish Luminox did something similar with their cases, just to move away from the look and feel of regular plastic. The caseback is held by 4 little screws like on Casio watches and has engraved water resistance and crystal information with a big Navy Seals symbol in the middle so you don't forget it's a Navy Seals watch. When it comes to the case size, it is 44 mm in diameter, but wears more like a 40 to 41 because of the thick bezel and relatively short lug-to-lug of 47.5. It is 13.8 mm thick, but sits well on the wrist and is very comfortable to wear due to only 56 grams of weight. The strap it comes on is a silicone rubber which is very soft and adds to the comfort. I like the overall design of the strap and the Luminox logo embossed on it. The buckle is massive and gives a feeling of being indestructible. The bezel, on the other hand, doesn't give you that feeling. It just feels and sounds so weird to turn it that I have a feeling I'm breaking something inside every time I use it, like they used a plastic click mechanism. It is a 60-click bezel and features the luminous pip at 12 o'clock. The pip is another tritium tube that is covered by this small piece of crystal. Some people have complained about this crystal falling out, making the tritium vial exposed, but apparently that was on early production models that also had a problem of tritium vials on the dial falling out. The crown is big, easy to grip, and seems to be made of the same material as the case. Despite it not being a screw-down crown, the watch comes with 200 meters of water resistance. The crystal is mineral, and underneath is the tactical designed dial and hands. These both look really good and go well with the look of the watch. The dial markers and hands are bright, legible, and fun looking, which makes the dial definitely my favorite part of the watch. I especially love how the tritium vials give the hands a 3D look. The Luminox logo is at 12 o'clock and is quite large. The date is at 3 o'clock and done in white, which means again that I would prefer a no-date version to give a more symmetrical look. At 6 o'clock, you first have the Swiss quartz, then the water resistance inscription, and underneath again a Swiss made inscription. A bit too Swiss if you ask me. It's like it's saying, look at me, I'm Swiss, I promise I am, like it's not sure it is and is trying to make both you and itself believe that it is. Another thing that I don't like is how they state at least 20 armed forces, coast guards, and other cool macho organizations at the beginning of their manuals, like the manual is issued to these organizations by their request. But there isn't a single information on what exact movement they're using. You get the feeling like they're trying to hide something while throwing BS information in your face as much as possible. I really don't like that, even though I want to like the watch. To conclude, despite my love for the design of this watch and the cool factor of the tritium lume, I would personally not buy one. It's not so much the lack of the feeling of quality, even though that is another factor making me not want one, especially the bezel action, but it's the BS marketing and the lack of proper technical information that makes me stay away from this. It is advertised as a tough Swiss-made quartz watch, but it just doesn't give me that feeling. If I was in the market for a tough Swiss-made quartz watch, I would go for the Inox I reviewed recently. Now that watch gives you a feeling of toughness. In the same way the Inox made me change the way I feel about it, from thinking it's all marketing BS to actually making me like it and believing it can really take whatever you throw at it, this watch went from me liking it to actually being disappointed by it. Now, if Luminox becomes more transparent in the future and concentrates more on telling me how they make their watches instead of listing all the organizations they paid to use their name for marketing purposes, I might actually get one. Until then, I don't think so. I would like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe by pressing this button right here. And until the next video, bye.